Well, hey there, guys. I'm Axel the Beast, and this is the Curiosity Shop, the Zelda Dungeon video mailbag where I answer your Zelda questions. Jesse asks, in preparation of Skyward Sword, I've been trying to beat as many games as I can before it releases. I'm pretty new to Zelda and adventure games in general. I really hate missing hidden items and usually look up guides so I can get everything. It kind of takes the fun away from the experience, in my opinion. Do you have any advice? Take your time. You make sure to backtrack and pay attention to everything around you. Speak to everyone, all the characters, and investigate. Look for odd things or, stuff that it seems like there should be something there, or when a character implies that you could get something. It is hard. I have never actually gotten 100% in any Zelda game. I got, almost 3 heart pieces away from it in Minish Cap, but that's it. The guides are fine. It's whatever you find fun playing the game. If you don't have fun trying to, hardcore style search around and find all the items, that's fine. Resorting to a guide, it doesn't make you less of a gamer. Just keep an eye out and look for, and, pay attention, really look around if you want to do it without a guide, though. Pot360 asks, I have heard several rumors about Nintendo remaking Ocarina of Time for the 3DS that is due to come out soon. I was wondering if this was true. Yep, they're no longer rumors, actually. Finally. It's been completely confirmed. After all the crazy rumors we've heard about the same thing, it's true this time. And isn't it awesome? The Legend of Jub asks, now that we know Ocarina of Time is getting a 3DS remake, what other games do you think ought to get a 3DS remake? And don't say Majora's Mask, it's too similar to Ocarina of Time. Aww, but I like Majora's Mask, that's the one I'd want. Well, fair enough. I don't know. I kind of would rather a new game altogether. As I've mentioned in the past, I'm not much of a guy who likes, remakes. I'd like to have a whole new game, one that, really pushes the software of the current system rather than trying to remake an older game to live up to that software. Perhaps A Link to the Past, because Eiji Aonuma has talked about... you noticed me struggling with the name there. No one knows how to pronounce that guy's name. He's talked about wanting to remake A Link to the Past with Twilight Princess graphics. I don't know if the 3DS is fully capable of that, but closer than the DS was, so maybe we'll see that. I don't really know. I don't know if the remake thing is even going to be a trend. They could have only done it because it was a rumor. Andrew A. Corner asks, Ocarina of Time contains some frightening things, like Redeads, the Dead Hand, the Bottom of the Well, and the Shadow Temple. Do you think that, for a 3DS release, these things will be toned down or the game bumped up to an E10 Plus or teen rating? I didn't think of that. That's actually pretty sharp. Very possibly. I mean, the E10 Plus rating did not even exist when Ocarina of Time first came out. And, so maybe it would get that. I doubt it would get the teen rating since, unless they, up the gore and stuff, and up the scariness, I don't know. The teen rating was a Twilight Princess thing. I don't think they'd do that with an older game. And I don't think, Skyward Sword's gonna have that, for example. And, I don't think they're gonna... I don't know. It's hard to say if they will try to tone it down. I guess I expect an E10 Plus rating or something. I'm not really sure. It's an interesting point you make there. Billy Brown asks, I have heard rumors that Skyward Sword will be the last console Zelda game for quite a while. Do you think these rumors are true, and do you think Zelda could survive on handhelds? I've talked about this before, but that is definitely not true. There's no reason to suspect that this is going to be the last Zelda game, or console Zelda game. There'll definitely be more console and handheld games, for quite a long time. Way into the future, even. So, when they talk about the games being either modern or futuristic, they'll be the same thing, except the new futuristic will be ridiculous. That didn't have anything to do with your question, but it made me laugh. JWP asks, last video you said Ganondorf would not be in Skyward Sword, but because this game shows the creation of the Master Sword and the sword could have been made with the sole purpose of defeating Ganondorf. Does this make sense to you? Do you like this idea? Why or why not? Still no, sorry. Ocarina of Time had the Master Sword, and it was the beginning of Ganondorf. He had his origin in that game, or just prior to that game. Um, I've heard people say it could be an ancestor of Ganon, but I think that's unlikely because Ganondorf was just a normal Gerudo. He was the king of the Gerudo because he was a male. The males become the kings. So there's nothing special about him. So I don't see why an ancestor would be so horribly evil. It's just me though. And also, Skyward Sword becomes the Master Sword. It's not made as... The Master Sword isn't created. This implies to me that something might happen that forces it to become the Master Sword, perhaps implying that it's actually weaker than the Skyward Sword, which is interesting, Shani Forgy asks, I think it's cool that the Sword Beam can finally be used in a 3D Zelda game. What do you think about it? Oh, I love it too! I really like that it's coming back. Technically, it was in Majora's Mask with Fierce Deity, but I know what you mean. Considering there's going to be like classic-style Octoroks in the game, and that it's a prequel, this could also imply that we're going to see like a return of a lot of classic elements like the Sword Beam, and that excites the crap out of me, as I'm sure you're aware if you've watched these very much. Triforce of Courage asks, what are your impressions of the new Zordiana character, and what do you think her role in the game is? That name is rumored, not finalized. Another rumored name is Adel. She is the Skyward Sword. They've confirmed that. She's going to have some importance to the plot, or the Skyward Sword will. That is confirmed. But, she will probably be Link's partner, like Navi or Midna. That kind of goes without saying, in my opinion. Funky Robot asks, awesome name. With Skyward Sword, does all this talk of a smaller game and a hub scare you? I always love exploring and finding hidden things in Zelda, but Skyward Sword looks like it's going to be more on rails like Super Mario Galaxy. I mean, just look at the map from E3, very closed off. Does this scare you too? Not at all, actually. I have a good feeling about this game, even with things I've wanted in the series. I've no mention of them saying it was going to be a hub. Correct me if I'm wrong, ask another question about it. They said it was going to be a smaller game, but that it was going to be denser. There'll be less, things, but there'll be more to the things that there is. So less like Twilight Princess, which was very long, and more like Majora's Mask, which was short, but it had a lot to do. It had a lot of meat. I don't mind this. I think it's a good idea. The E3 area is actually not going to be in the final game. They've told us this. It's not in the game at all. It's just made up for E3. The fact that there's dual overworlds kind of makes me think they might be less hub-like, since, why have two hubs? Or, I don't know. That's just a random conjecture theory, but, I like to think I'm right with those. Shane Horka asks, why do you think that Miyamoto and the Zelda team went all the way back to the beginning of the Zelda series with Skyward Sword, and that Link comes from the land known as Skyloft? No idea, but I like it. Less timeline restrictions now that they place it earlier in the timeline, and me and my timeline stuff. And also Skyloft, it's just a new area. It's interesting. I don't know the reasons for putting it in, just like I don't know the reasons for making it a prequel, but it sounds cool to me. Also, it could imply some, symbology in the game. Heaven, the goddesses, and the fact that it's the Skyward Sword and the Master Sword, which defeats evil, sounds like a heavenly power. I don't know, it just seems like they've got an association thing going on. That's all I can say. I don't know what they're thinking. I'm not Nintendo, or Miyamoto, or Aonuma, or Reggie. But you knew that. Zelda Jelly asks, since you think that the land below Skyloft is Hyrule, and in the trailer Link has the Hylian shield, do you think that there will be the Hylian civilization, Hyrule Castle, Kakariko, etc.? The Hylian shield is the Hylian crest on the shield is the game's symbol, from what we can see. Like a bird in flight. I believe. It seems like the game takes place before Hyrule, personally. I mean, it's like overrun by monsters, kind of like the Minish Cap, and I think we'll see new areas, or is that old? And or earlier versions of the same areas. Good No Bakes asks, do you think that the villain might be something like Majora that seems completely evil, or something with more background, like Ganon or Vati? What are your thoughts? A good question. I like that. Despite thinking it's Vati, I think it'll be more like Majora, this horrible evil, not necessarily intelligent as much. Commanding an army of beasts make me think that. Less human Vati, perhaps, like Four Swords or Four Swords Adventures, that could be possible, and it could be something completely new. I don't know. Alright, last question. Bradley Horwith asks, do you think Skyward Sword will come before or after the Minish Cap on the Zelda timeline? If Vati's in it, it's going to be after, definitely. It could be before, with, the evil overrunning Hyrule, but that wouldn't make much sense with the sword becoming the Master Sword, as with the story where the evil overrun Hyrule and a hero had to defeat it. His sword was the Four Swords, so I don't know. It's a little odd. I'm curious to see what they do. Alright guys, that's it for this time. Send your questions to the email address in the description, and later.